Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be discussing another aspect of Ninjago Season 16 that could very well happen if certain criteria is met. With the overwhelming return of a bunch of Ninjago villains from previous stories, one villain stands out in particular to me as being kind of a wild card. That character is of course the Jade Princess herself, Harumi. A new minifigure of Harumi can be found in the upcoming Ninjago Summer 2022 sets, and I feel like because those sets are probably going to be based explicitly off the Ninjago TV series, especially Ninjago Season 16, I think Harumi has a very high chance of returning next season. And in today's video, I would like to break down what her return could mean for the relationship between her and Lloyd Garmadon. Could her return resolve unpatched trauma between the two characters, especially in the case of Lloyd, and actually mend their relationship in some way during the next Ninjago season? I want to break down my thoughts on this question and what I think could happen revolving Harumi and Lloyd in Season 16, but first we need to give a couple of quick disclaimers. Obviously this video will in fact contain a lot of information regarding the Season 16 sets, but there will not be very many spoilers revolving around the Ninjago Season 16 TV series. Whether you want to call it Season 16 or Season 15, whatever works, either way, the storyline that's going to be coming out for Ninjago in the summer of 2022, there will not be any spoilers present in today's video, aside from the usual Ninjago set leaks that we've been discussing for weeks now. And also, for another quick disclaimer, this video will in fact contain theories and speculation on the part of myself that should not be taken as 100% fact, so keep that in mind as well as we continue onwards in today's video, and I hope you enjoy my thoughts on the Lloyd and Harumi relationship finally being mended in Season 16. Let's begin. So in terms of Harumi's Season 16 return, lots of Ninjago fans have been quite curious as to where the story will take her character, especially after we last saw her during Ninjago Season 9. Excluding Avatar Harumi from Prime Empire, the last time we saw Harumi was actually during Season 9 Hunted, when a building fell on top of her, of course after she redeemed herself and her evil deeds by saving a child from a similar fate to her. She was ultimately killed when a building fell on top of her, as I previously said. This incident was very much the conclusion of Harumi's story during the Oni trilogy. However, many fans have theorized that since she's going to be popping up again in Season 16, and assuming that it's not going to be the Avatar version of Harumi that we saw during Prime Empire, maybe Harumi could have actually survived this incident, and the show is planning for her to make a huge comeback during the events of Ninjago Season 16. Maybe after somehow surviving that incident, she's finally healed now after all of these years, and she's about ready to return to Ninjago after her near-death experience. And if this truly is the real Harumi coming back in Season 16, then yeah, she had to have survived that accident somehow. I'm not exactly sure how she would have survived an entire building falling on top of her, but I suppose stranger things have happened in Ninjago before, so I guess that's pretty believable. Assuming Harumi did indeed survive, and now she's coming back in Season 16 after being healed up after all of these years, what exactly will her allegiances be? Will she choose to side with good or evil? Because Harumi could realistically play both sides, hence why I referred to her as a wild card earlier on in the video. I've always said that following Harumi's redemption during Season 9, if she were to still be alive, I feel like she totally could have made her life work. After a hefty prison sentence for sure, I imagine she could get back on her feet, realize the error of her ways, and actually join the side of good. By default, Harumi is not a bad person, she just had a pretty rough childhood, grew up in a pretty rough environment, and was always operating under a toxic and negative mindset. But as I've said, after her redemption, her life totally could have turned around, especially with the character of Lloyd Garmadon. During the season of Sons of Garmadon, Lloyd was shown to have real feelings for Harumi, and it messed him up pretty good once Harumi ultimately betrayed him. The trauma that Harumi gave Lloyd has definitely not been ignored, being mentioned in several of the recent Wild Brain era Ninjago seasons. But despite how Lloyd felt about Harumi, did Harumi feel the same way about Lloyd? On the surface, I would argue no. It was just pure manipulation on her part trying to get closer to Lloyd so she could eventually reach her ultimate goal of reviving Lord Garmadon. But maybe somewhere deep down Harumi truly did care for Lloyd, as was hinted at during Season 9 especially. And if the Ninjago series wanted to build off of those feelings and those subtle hints, I totally think a potential relationship between the two would work in Season 16. It could work out in the sense that Lloyd has leftover demons following Harumi's downfall, and it would also give Harumi a chance to redeem her own character even further. I will say, a romantic relationship is not necessary to mend these two character arcs. You know, in terms of Lloyd's trauma being mended and Harumi's redemption actually being achieved, a romantic relationship is not necessary, but I feel like having the two meet face to face after all of these years could eventually lead to a spark between the two, and it it could be a massive door to resolve these two situations. Again, it's not the most necessary thing out there, but it is a possibility at the very least. Let's just say, for example, Ninjago Season 16 does in fact bring back Harumi and makes her a main focus in the season. I could totally see her going the route of Moro from Ninjago Day of the Departed, where you think that maybe she's on the side of evil, but eventually she does redeem herself by either assisting the ninja, by reaching out to them in some way, or by simply betraying the bad guys. Either way, I feel like Harumi could in fact pull a Moro here and secretly be on the side of good the entire time. Thus, following the conclusion of Season 16, assuming the ninja actually win and save the day, she could turn over a brand new leaf, ultimately leading to the Ninjago population forgiving her, and more importantly, Lloyd forgiving her as well. I believe a resolution could very well be met between Lloyd and Harumi in my humble opinion. I think they totally have the potential to spark a romantic relationship, and like I said, the relationship between the two could in fact be friendly. There's nothing that says that it needs to be romantic, but considering the history between the two, I do think a romantic relationship is possible at the very least, as I've said earlier. I've supported their ship since the beginning of Sons of Garmadon, and even after all the drama, after reviving Garmadon, I still support it. Of course, disregarding or assuming a couple of those major hiccups will eventually be fixed at some point down the road, I believe the relationship between Lloyd and Harumi could totally work out in both of their favors. And since they are both in Season 16, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. The only bad side to the potential Lloyd and Harumi relationship during Season 16 is that maybe Lloyd and Akita wouldn't really work out after all, which is kind of a shame, but hey, sacrifices need to be made for the greater good after all. Either way, guys, no matter what exactly happens with Lloyd and Harumi during Ninjago Season 16, whether they end up together or not, I do believe Season 16 will give Harumi's character a second chance to shine once again. And the priority of a well-written character like Harumi should be to achieve redemption for that character, not to set her up in a romantic relationship with a ninja. And I, for one, am pretty much open to about any possibility that Season 16 could throw our way. The two of them just being friends? Absolutely. Whatever works to build up both of their characters and resolve both of their grievances with one another, I think will benefit both of those characters in the long run. And with that being said, you guys, that'll pretty much do it for my thoughts on Harumi coming back in Season 16 and what exactly her relationship with Lloyd could look like. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. As I mentioned, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts on this topic in today's video. However, feel free to use the comment section down below to your own advantage. Let me know whether or not you think Harumi is even able to be redeemed following what she did during Seasons 8 and 9. And if so, would you like to see her actually get into a relationship with Lloyd, whether it be a friendly relationship or even something more than that? Additionally, let me know what exactly you think Harumi's storyline in Season 16 will actually be. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed today's video. That'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And as always, check out the links down below in the description from other forms of social media. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Once again, you guys, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.